Okay, experienced versus beginner riders. What's the biggest differences? You might see some guy dragging elbow around a corner on Instagram and think, oh my God, he's so experienced. I want to be like that, but I am just a humble beginner rider. Well, I'm here to tell you that, fancy riding skills and crazy dank canooners and all that stuff, it's not really the thing that separates beginners and experienced riders. A lot of it is philosophy and mindset. So today I wanted to talk about the differences between the beginner and the experienced rider from the perspective of an experienced rider. I have been riding motorcycles for 10 years now, officially. I think, if the math works out, just about 10 years. And I've ridden like 190 different motorcycles, I think. I have pretty extensive track and racing experience, adventure experience, dirt bike experience. So I think I'm a pretty experienced rider, man. I'm not the be-all, end-all. I don't know every single thing about motorcycles, but I do know a lot. And I was a beginner rider once. And I think the biggest thing that beginners don't do, that experienced riders do, is that the experienced rider understands that motorcycling is about the ride, right? That sounds a bit silly and a bit like, oh yeah, of course it's about the ride. But really the thing I see beginner riders doing more than anything else is just focusing way too much on the bike themselves. They think about the specs, they think about the power, they think about the technology and the features and all that. And as a guy who's ridden that many bikes, like 190 different motorcycles, they all basically do the same thing. And really the feeling that I get from riding a motorcycle is what I'm after, For me, especially on track, that special feeling of picking up the bike off the apex, feeling the rear tire squirm and smear around the edges, going all the way to the paint. That's the feeling for me. Some bikes do things that other bikes can't. Some bikes do things other bikes do a little bit better. But at the end of the day, man, all I really care about is this feeling right here. Going through a set of corners, a beautiful day. I really don't care what bike I'm on. Sure, I have preferences, and that's why I've bought the bikes that I've bought and have my own personal stable. But at the end of the day, man, it's about the ride. It's about this feeling. It's about really just enjoying the road and enjoying what you're doing, because none of us know how much time we have on this earth, and being able to ride a motorcycle is one of the coolest things you can do, bar none. I really think it's so special. That kind of leads me into my other point, is that beginner riders often cannot pick the right place and right time. This may be the fact that experienced riders tend to be a little bit older, right? We're usually in our 30s, 40s, 50s, as opposed to beginner riders who are in their teens and in their early 20s and that sort of thing. Traditionally, right, some beginner riders are in their 40s and they have a better head on their shoulder. But the vast majority of young riders I see that are starting out, they just make bad choices. A lot of these crash videos I see, I can tell it's the exuberance of youth, right? And you haven't developed all the skill sets to just be able to unconsciously do certain things. Like, here's a perfect example, right? Every time I dip into a corner, you guys see that I apply brake pressure, right? It doesn't really matter how fast I'm going, I'm applying brake pressure, because when the bike is leaning in, I gotta be loading the front end. And that's something that I've unconsciously learned how to do because I've been riding for a while. Beginner riders don't have that yet, And so a lot of times I see them just making really, really poor decisions. And it's decisions that experienced riders would just simply never make, because when you are able to ride at that very sort of unconscious level, you free your mind to make better choices and to be more situationally aware. That's another enormous place that I see the difference between the beginners and experienced riders, is being situationally aware, understanding everything about the ride, the meta around the ride, right? Like, for example, I'm out here today. It's like noon on a Monday. It's a beautiful spring day, but I know that most people are at work, but that doesn't make me completely non-vigilant, right? As I'm sitting here talking to you guys, explaining things about motorcycling, doing this vlog, my fingers hovered over the lever. I'm literally scanning every single entryway, and I know that this might not be the best place to just apply a bunch of speed, because sometimes people come out of here and they don't see people come in. You got blind corners around the edge here. I'm noticing the position of the road, right? I'm here to the right of it to give myself a little bit of leeway for people coming that way. Like, there's so much that experienced riders are just taking in and doing unconsciously that beginner riders just can't do because they're way too focused on not being overwhelmed for what the motorcycle's doing, right? I'll give you guys another example. One of my buddies, Brandon Chasehorn, he is a CMRA racer, races in twins category. He's been doing it for a long time. He's a really fast rider, really, really fast. He was telling me that one time he was riding on street and people were like, yo, like, you're like this expert level racer, like, why are you not just like railing around these corners? And he's like, the reason I'm not railing around these corners is because I'm an expert level racer. I don't need to do that on the street to impress anybody. I don't need to show you how fast I am on the street when I don't have control over any of these variables. I'm gonna ride in a totally chill and normal way. I don't have to drag elbow around a corner to prove that I'm fast to you. I know that I'm faster than you. And that's the other thing, man. The big difference, and this might just be a generalized age thing, but another big thing I see for us more experienced riders is we just don't care, dude. I could care less what some 22-year-old with an S1000RR thinks about me or my riding or what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I love my motorcycling. I respect the craft. I treat it with respect. And I just enjoy what I enjoy, man. I enjoy going on track. I know what I'm about. And I like it. And that's something that beginners are always a little more unsure because they just haven't experienced that much with motorcycling. They haven't gotten the chance to be like, oh, like, I know I'm more of a track guy, or I know I'm more of an adventure bike guy, and I don't have to worry about all that other stuff, you know? Understanding who you are, and especially who you are as a rider, is one of the coolest things. It comes with age, and the more time you put in the saddle, and the more you think about, you know, like, oh, what is it that I want to do with motorcycling? Like, what do I actually want to get out of this? Am I comfortable with my pace? Am I comfortable with my skill sets? That comes with age, comes with time, and the experienced riders are just like, that's really where we've been able to define ourselves. We're able to define ourselves and what we want out of motorcycling, and it makes a big, big difference. Oh, new speed bumps on this road, not so fun. But you gotta make sure people are safe, right? Probably had so many incidents. There's like, we are so sick of watching people just nuke themselves on this road. Tighten that up here. Very nice. Watch that car. I don't know if y'all saw what I did back there, but I already was standing the bike up because I saw the car coming. Didn't know if they were going to drift out wide. I was trying to go out to the other lane. All the little stuff, man. I'll share with you guys another story about very experienced riders telling beginner or more entry-level riders a funny thing. This was shared to me at the Yamaha Champ School that I did a few years ago. I believe it was at the Racers program that I did. They said that Josh Hayes was there, and Josh Hayes is a multiple-time AMA Superbike champion, extremely fast rider, one of the legends in the game. He turned to a group of riders. He was standing at a corner, and he turned to this group of beginner riders, and he said, every single one of you is going to be faster than me through this corner, at this apex. And everyone's like, what? How can I be faster than Josh Hayes? You know, what the heck? And he was like, but then I'm going to be able to get on the gas and pass you throughout the rest of the lap here. And that's what I was saying earlier about, you know, understanding the leaning of the bike over, using the brakes. I've seen a lot of footage of more entry-level riders. They're trying to ride at a faster pace and not utilizing their brakes because they think that if they brake, they're going to go slower, right? And it's sort of counterintuitive, but sometimes you go faster by using your brakes more. By using your brakes later, by carrying them deeper into the corner, you then can get the bike stood up and back at wide open throttle faster, right? And again, it's counterintuitive. You wouldn't think that applying more brake pressure is going to make you go faster, but it's a big difference, right? And it helps you control the bike better and just does all sorts of stuff, right? But going back to what I was saying about, you know, the sort of entry-level rider not really understanding the time or place or making poor decisions and, you know, feeling like they have to, you know, keep up or that sort of thing. That's the other place I really see. The experienced rider is more than happy to just hang back. If they're not feeling comfortable, if they just don't feel like it, it's all good, man. I've been on this road actually before, Lime Creek Road, many times. I've been down this road hundreds of times, and it's one of my favorite roads here in Austin. And I can't tell you the number of times that you know, me as a guy who club races and, you know, does all kinds of stuff with track motorcycles and all that, I've had, you know, yahoos come out here and pass me. They like look back and they're like, yeah, keep up, you know. And I'm like, dude, you could not pay me to keep up with you. I don't care. I don't care at all. Literally don't care at all. about trying to keep up with the riders out here. You know, we say it all the time in motorcycling too, but the other way that experienced riders are different than beginners is we're smooth. Everything we do is smooth, you know? You're never gonna see a properly experienced motorcyclist just ham-fistedly using the bike. There are very few instances when you're riding a motorcycle that requires, you know, jerky throttle inputs or jerky brake inputs. You know, maybe if you're trying to do some weird stunt stuff in the lots or whatever, you know, you might want to stab on the brakes or try this or try that. But honestly, even that, I've seen a lot of stunt guys are, you know, much more smooth than you would anticipate them to be. Even to do a wheelie, which you would think is a violent thing, you know, you gotta slam the throttle, you gotta pop the clutch. When guys do it really correctly, it looks so smooth, you know? So that's really the thing too, is just everything that a experienced rider does is just smooth and predictable, and yeah, just not doing anything weird with the bike, man. Just really just keeping it real nice and smooth. I see beginners herky-jerky on the throttle, you know. But you phase out of that pretty quick. The other area I find that experienced riders are a little better at than beginners is just being a little more accepting and understanding of everybody's different kind of riding styles and what they like. I get a lot of flack for this on YouTube, but I'm actually not like this in person. Like, most of the time I'm just cracking jokes on YouTube, man. It's not that serious, but in real life, you know, if I meet somebody who's on a bike and they want to chat a little bit, I always ask them what they ride and what they like about their bike, and then I usually have some experience with what bike they're talking about. And I'm like, oh yeah, that bike's got a great engine, or oh, I love the way that bike handles, it's super fun, or oh, that's a really pretty bike, that's really cool. You know, that's a really nice thing to do, to talk to others about their bikes and to really try to understand what it is that they like about it, you know? The fact that someone chose a motorcycle usually indicates that they have put some thought into it, man. Like, a lot of people get real personal about their bikes because, you know, it's something that they really wanted to invest in. Oh, we can just keep third gear on this bike. That's so nice. Look at that. I did want to shout out, if you've made it this far in the video, you're obviously a true fan. And if you want to be a really true fan, click the link to yammynoob.co. Become a member today. You get access to our Discord server. It's like a bike night that never ends. And it's really cool, man. The other thing we do is we give away bikes on the website. So I've been doing it for years. I've given away like 55 different motorcycles. And we've got this MT-07 up for grabs right now. The sweepstakes is ending on this one. We've only got a few more days left on it. And then in April, we're going to do a Honda CBR 650R. That's going to be a really cool bike. So if you want to support the show, stack up your entries and get entered to win. We're doing a new bike every single month this year. And that's going to be really cool because we're not promoting it or advertising it anywhere. So if you're seeing this on YouTube, you're the only audience that really gets to see this and gets to get entered. So hit that link below, join the server, join the membership program, and you'll get entered to win this MT-07 that I'm riding today. Oh, the other point I wanted to make, this one may be a little controversial, I'm not sure, but I do think it stands to reason, honestly. The more experienced you get, in theory, the less you should crash. I have not had a street motorcycle accident in 8 years now. It's been 8 years since my last street motorcycle accident. I've logged thousands and thousands of street miles. I haven't crashed on track in like 4 years, 3 years, something like that. It's been a long time on that one too. And it seems like the guys that I talk to that have been doing this for a long time, you know, it's the same thing. It's like it just starts happening less and less. There are freak accidents, of course. It does happen, especially on track. Like, I mean, God knows things can happen, and especially riding off-road and adventure riding too. It's like you're gonna fall off. But the street crashes, I mean, really, you really shouldn't keep crashing on street after you've been riding for 10 or 15 years. It really shouldn't be a thing where you keep low-siding your bike, or God forbid high-siding it, or bumping into cars, or doing that sort of stuff. It's pretty rare to see a rider who's been at this for a long time to keep crashing, because you learn the strategies to not do it. And especially if you have a crash or two under your belt, you know that hurts and is expensive. And the older you get, the less you want to dole out money on fixes and repairs and for health related bills and to be out of work and all this crap. You don't want to do that. You want to keep life peaceful and calm and collected. And you know, it's interesting how the older you get, it's like your riding style changes and how you approach riding changes, just given the fact that you're older too. So again, those of you who are starting out motorcycling already at 30 or 40 years old, at that advanced age, you're already going to catch yourself being like, wow, I'm avoiding a lot of the dumb shit that I would have done when I was younger. But boys, that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you had some fun. Hope you enjoyed hearing what I'm so grizzled and ancient in the way that I talk about motorcycling, aren't I? I'm just so old. But yeah, join the Discord down below. Join the AmyNoob.co. It's a ton of fun. I'm going to get some gas. I'm going to keep riding. Catch you on the next one. See you later.
Wake up! You're dreaming! You're dreaming! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! None of this is real! None of it's real! None of it's real! Wake up! Keep watching AmyNoob.